Hello everyone, today I'm talking about Splatoon 2, and because they've had a lot of updates since the launch and everyone decided to review it at launch, I felt it was probably something that people really should go back to. So what I'm basically going to do is talk about Splatoon 2 and give it a kind of review, but at the end. Obviously it's going to be looking back through all the times, and also this isn't going to be a very strict, strong view, so I just wanted to mention that now. But let's get started then. So when Splatoon 2 came out, there were good reviews. They said that the game was just as fun and they adapted to the Switch pretty well. However, there was some more negative parts, like the story mode wasn't as good as Splatoon 1's, and considering I've never played Splatoon 1, I can't really say on that front, and was lacking in a lot of areas. But considering they knew that there was updates to come, people were very excited, and I was very excited as well, and they did a lot of updates. In fact, they were only meant to go for about a year of updates and 2 years of Splatfests. However, they made it longer to about a year and a half, so a year more, and the Splatfests, even though they did go for the amount of time they originally said, they were very different by the extra shifty station levels that they've been adding, so they are not in any way like repetitive or anything. So yeah, it was pretty fun, and when doing all the Splatfests, and they really evolved them probably from the original one, just from the facts I know that they didn't have any shifty station or special levels, meaning that people wanted to probably go and play them more because they were only going to be one-time levels, apart from in the private battles right at the end. But no one actually knew that was going to happen, so just in case that didn't happen, it's good that they decided to make sure people did go and play on them. And I really enjoyed most of Splatfest and all the new added stuff, like all the new weapons, the stages, and even Clam Blitz that happened around Christmas time. I don't think, not this year, but the year before, and Clan Blitz is the new ranking mode. I wish there were more ranking modes, but it was a pretty fun one, and I really enjoyed it. Talking of new modes, Salmon Run is a really fun mode that everyone really should play, because it's not changed much. However, they have adapted a few extra things, like added new stages. You can capture the eggs from the salmons, as well as some more special weapons, like these really powerful ones that you can't play it with in any other case, but they generally come up as a question mark, because sometimes you can have mystery weapons that will appear randomly, and they're generally the ones how you can get it, and they're really good fun to use. A bit overpowered, but fun in the same way. And who says overpowered weapons aren't fun? So yeah, Splatoon 2 I felt, yeah, has done quite a good job, and I wish they did a little bit more with Salmon Run, especially because the new stages were spread out quite a lot from the fourth one released to the fifth one and final one. I wish they added more onto them, but they didn't, so what can you do? Also, the normal game of Splatoon 2, the Turf Wars, have not changed much. However, they have changed a bit, and they are still just as fun as ever. Inking the ground with your own ink, and whoever gets the most ink wins. Nothing different much. However, all the added new weapons that you can use, like the bottle with the ink thing, and all the specials and the bomb weapons, even though the newer ones, they were added right at the end, and I wish they added them a bit sooner, because they're barely used on a lot of the weapons. I wish they had them on more of them. They're still pretty fun to use, and I really think that they were a good idea to add. Even if I think the Boo R bomb, is that how you say it? Is very overpowered. who cares really? I love it still. And yeah. Um, Also, talking about fun new things, they've also added a new story mode after possibly the slightly negative reception of the original one, but also to the fact that it was just fun to play a very different story mode, and it involved an Octoling. First time playing an Octoling. If you don't want to, if there's nothing else you want to do on getting the new mode, just do it for getting and playing an Octoling. So this one is Octo Expansion, the new story mode. It's got micro levels that are pretty fun. They not as long as the original levels, but they are, I feel, more better because they are more focused on one gimmick, while the other ones main levels are, even though they focus generally on one gimmick, they don't seem to ever come up again that gimmick, while the Octo expansion seems to focus on one gimmick on one of the levels, but they also do bring it out back, making it more harder. And also you can choose which order you do the levels in, and some of them are really tough, and even the final boss and the secret boss was bonkersly tough. I wouldn't like to say it took me a few weeks to get that final boss finished, secret boss, not final one. But it took me about a few weeks to get that secret boss done. But I felt really happy, especially knowing I was also partly stuck on the last phase. That was slightly annoying, but oh well. It was pretty fun, and I'm really glad I managed to do it. And yeah, it feels like I've accomplished something, and that's always a good feeling. So the Octo expansion is definitely a get if you got Splatoon 2. It does cost about £20 ish more, but who really cares? It might actually be a bit more less actually, but it's a full-on story mode. So if you like the original one but you want more, you should just get it. It's a no-brainer, and it is, even though I did like the original one because it was probably I think it was quite similar to the um Splatoon 1's story mode. Splatoon 2 story mode, it's not too bad, but I do prefer the Octo expansion. And so, I know that I've been talking super positively about Splatoon 2. Is there anything I want improved, however? Well, obviously I would like the price to always go down, but to be honest, Nintendo never put the price go down, and obviously I don't expect games to always be free. But things I would like them to would have added would be another ranking mode. I felt only Clan Blitz being the only added one, they could have done a bit more with it. But also, I think they could have made the levels, instead of you doing it changing every 2 hours. I think they should have either had more on as an option, like maybe 3 at the time, especially at the end, or even a just having it more often, like every hour it changing, because every 2 hours with the same levels just it doesn't connect as well. I think I get sometimes a bit bored of the same level after around an hour-ish. So I think even though it's fun playing on these levels, it's just that I think they should change them around more often. Also, they could um, have a they could also do a salmon run not being every, I don't know how often, hours, but they do it not as often as I like it to be. And also the clothing items, I wish they didn't, they, even though I know they change it around more often, I wish they did allow me to buy them more at a time, because they seem to just be I don't know how often they change around, but they only like about 5 or 6 or 8, and sometimes you've already bought them, and I like new gear. So I wish they maybe, change, have more to offer at a time or something. I don't know. And also maybe not allowed too often as the same items you've already got. So that's all the real things, I think. I also would wish the online was better, but that's not with the game, it's Splatoon well, with Nintendo not doing a good job with, well, online. Also, the final private stages and the shifty stations, I think could have been like they could have just added them in as a like in the rotation, maybe as like the third one, and like you know that at the end that would be a great reward for carrying on playing Splatoon 2 after all the Splatfests end. But oh well, what can you do? So yeah, my conclusion with Splatoon 2 is that it's a must play on the Switch. If you like at all any shooter of any type, you must play this and you'll have a lot of fun. And even if you're not into shooters, it isn't like any normal shooter. You're instead of well killing each other, you're inking the ground. So you don't want to necessarily go after people, but you want to try and get as much ink on the ground as possible. And I feel the charm of the game and the awesome music. Oh, I'm probably not the best music person in the world of video games or graphic person, but I can see the amazing music and it's just so catchy. And I won't sing it for all of you just because you'll be, well, wishing I hadn't. But basically, it's a must play. I hope you play it if you haven't got it already. And I can't wait for Splatoon 3 to happen. I still don't think it's happening on the Switch, but people seem to think it is. But I think Nintendo are just gonna focus on something else because they've been you having applying things to the Splatoon 2 for quite a while now. So I'm sure they really want to move on a bit. So anyway, thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed, and remember, stay fresh.